It's about 2 o'clock, Saturday, March 11th. It's been a dreary, cold, rainy few days. And it's supposed to rain for another couple days. I am physically exhausted from the psychodrama I've had to continue through due to the corruption in government, law enforcement, and assholes with a ruthless agenda. This week has been a roller coaster ride of emotions for a myriad of reasons. I was blessed for a moment in time, a feather in time, to meet someone who shined lights deep into my soul, which has made me look even deeper into the shattered remains. And thank you for your well wishes, and bless you with your children and the journey you're on. I have witnessed things in our government that most people will never even be exposed to. Many things I don't even care to talk about anymore, even if I could. Because this dysfunctional world is not ready for the truth of what's happening. Everyone sees no evil, hears no evil, turns his blind eye, speaks no evil, all bullshit. They expect everyone else to do it for them. Well, that's the way it's always been. Government's always been corrupt. And there's other people who are supposed to do that job to fix it. I have enough trouble dealing with my own life. Well, you're going to get exactly what you deserve because of that self-centered, self-righteous, self-defeatist attitude. I didn't get exactly what I deserved because I decided to blaze a trail and step out on a path and go where few will ever go. You see, with my time and resources, I didn't invest it into me for my selfless needs. I put it into my companies to pour it into people in need and reach out and help those oppressed by others. That's what I've spent a lifetime doing. And my dearest friend on the planet has begged me for years to stop giving. If I never gave again, I've already given too much. And that is true. And thank you for those kind words of wisdom that you've shared with me for so many years, despite my ability to cave and follow a safer path. In hindsight, there's many times I wish I had. But that was not my journey. Or some would say that's not my destiny. My journey has always been clear to me since birth. My journey has been known to me since childhood. I've seen this journey for decades. I've seen it over the last 2 centuries. I've seen it through the times of sand and reflecting back to me through the years and reminding me of the days ahead to be prepared. Many things I saw as a child scared me at the time. They were terrifying. Many things that I saw as a child always came true. And they were nothing I was doing to make them come true. Like, you know, I made this my destiny because I saw it, so I had to make it happen. There were many events that were not affected by me that I saw, where I wasn't even there, yet I saw what was happening to other people who were close to me, and the residual effects to me had based on those things. And they happened. Things with my dad, things with other family members, things with... And those who have spent enough time to even get to know me somewhat, which are few, know of those stories because I've talked about them very openly. And if you don't know those stories, then very freaking clearly, as well as you think you've known me, you really didn't take the time to get to know me at all. It was as superficial as you were. I'll get as deep with anyone as they can go. But when you start to pull back or question too much or hitting overload, I also know when to back off, even though you think I've already pushed you too far. I have an incredible list of contacts, yet there's only a handful or less, and then many times it comes down to one or maybe two people on the planet I can call even about certain issues for advice, because there's the only ones I can trust with my life. So if you haven't heard from me in a long time and you thought we were old buds, maybe you should pick up the phone and try and get reacquainted. And you don't have the excuse you don't have my numbers, because I always, when I change them, post the new ones on the internet. Surprise. And you can just start randomly dialing until you find me if it's that important. There are so many of you who owe more than you could ever imagine if you really sat down and looked at the debts you took, the debts you made with me, the services I provided to you, and what you gave me in return. I don't have to take that inventory. You know it's there. I don't have to take that inventory. It's in the akashic records. And from infinity to infinity, that debt will be repaid. Likely, though, not in this lifetime. If you have any belief in any type of theology or spirituality, you need to re-examine it, because it is those times where if you don't, soon it will be too late. I've uttered dates and times and things to happen that many have thought I was insane or said I was losing it or I should go seek help. But if you look back at that history of what I said at the time and what has even happened since, everything I forecasted, has become factual. Yet your arrogance and your ignorance won't let you sit back and look at that, will it? Even if you get this far into this viewing, which few will, you'll still grandstand on the fact that there was some other defect with me versus look at your own soul. The tendency of humankind, even though you're not supposed to judge, is that you judge everyone and everything around you. You never forgive completely, you never give selfishly. There's always that string attached on one end or the other. Those strings will be the threads that'll pull you right into hell. It doesn't bring you to a greater plateau, because you are always trying to keep your nails into everything, whether you realize it or not. Good luck with that journey. Well, I've had to live through hell and back numerous times on this earth. I've had to live with near-death and death experiences on this earth. I have had an amazing journey. And while there are regrets about outcomes, there's not regrets for the efforts that I made to touch your soul, to do what I was here for. But I'm at a turning point, a crossroads, where maybe Bill was right. It's time to just disappear. It's time to be gone. It's time to be gone forevermore. Well, there are certain things that I don't even know if I want to clean them up anymore. They were never my garbage. Unfortunately, they become my garbage thanks to parasites who have taken too much, including my passports multiple times, press ID, driver's licenses, and any other form of shred of something of mine that you could use to identify to say you were me, or imply or insinuate you were me, or just to hurt me. Whatever your agenda was, the boy from Michigan is going to send you straight to hell. From infinity to infinity, you will deal with me again in this life or the next one, whether you realize it or not. And during that time, your full audit will be taken. And you will answer for every deficiency, whether you like it or not. So in that fact I rest that I will have my solace from infinity to infinity. Well, I've had little peace in this lifetime. Well, I've reached out to many, countless millions around the world. Well, I have traveled miles that most will never charter. Every time you thought I was on vacation or on some foreign trip, there was always so much more to it than you will ever realize. See, even during those trips, I was on journeys for world peace, diplomacy, diplomatic service, and using my own resources to dig deep and find out the true news and not the fake news, which is what I've always done since childhood. I started in news. I started in hard news, political news. Grew up in a political family, had presidents and senators and royalty coming in and out of the living room of every industry. Cults, organizations, groups, gangs. We need to get the votes. And starting in hard news professionally at age 10 and legally changing my name to Kurt Kelly from Joseph Edward James Cronin, as born and confirmed into the Catholicism. I have forged forward for nearly 50 years under that identity. Yet I've been tormented under many identities that I've had to assume or create over the years while working for my Uncle Sam. Yes, I'm right here, boys. It's like the third copy you've sent since I turned on a fucking phone, which have been off for hours. Wow, that's a lot of copies to send in such a short period. Oh, that one's military. Wow. Yeah, I'm right here, boys. Yeah, right here for both of you. Yeah. And for all you assholes who think this shit's my fucking imagination, I know that was just a random military flyby in addition to the 4 police copters that came by. Here's another one. Gee, golly. Gosh. Oh, another 2. What the? Another 2. It's 4 right in this set. 2 other militaries who came by as I was checking power on the other 2 phones and the 2 wow. That's a lot of copters to be sending in yeah, let's just double check. Yeah, in an 11-minute period, 12 minutes, there's 14 minutes, yeah, and the other 10 before. Yeah, in a half-hour period, that many helicopters. And 6 of them military? Wow. Go, guys. Are we being invaded by Russia, Korea, or we're just trying to find out where Uncle Kurt is hanging out for the weekend or today at the moment to make sure I'm in check? Yeah, I know, it's all delusionary, paranoid bullshit, right? Like it was when I went to court on Friday for 10 misdemeanors that I have nothing to do with except my name's attached to them and some crooked cops, some snitches, bitches, and witches who helped me obtain those. I would love to know who's using my ID or my name there and in Compton and Burbank and Riverside, San Bernardino. And those are just the ones I found out about this week while doing digging around the state to find out how many courts I got to serenade in and out of. The man who's had 2 cars stolen in the last 24 months that no one's ever been able to recover for him. Yet you could tell me where they're at until hours before they vanished on the ASAP system. You told me every fucking where I went, LAPD, up until I went to that other part of town. And then all the federal buildings and beaches and everywhere else I was at for the next 18 hours. The last car disappeared and has never been seen again. Except it was in such high-profile areas in those 18 hours. I wonder how it fell off all those ASAP systems, Uncle Sam. And LAPD was on version 7. So fucking hackable. No, I don't know technology well at all, do I? Really helped you invent a lot of what you use, but, you know, what do I know? Oh, dear golly. So I go to court on Friday, and I appear, and I even go and ask the clerk, bring up all the cases under these identities, and she found them under this one and that one, and there were about 10 of them, and asked her to bring them up, then go up and hand the clerk the top sheet of all the case numbers in the court, and yeah, I need to appear on these, and then I was sent outside to wait, and then I met the public pretender they wanted to assign. They didn't even ask me. I hadn't even appeared to say I needed a pretender. I didn't need an attender. They've already assumed I get the public pretender, who I informed I want to drag all this stuff into federal court because I'm tired of this unrighteous abuse of being robbed by uniformed police officers numerous times in 12 last year alone. LAPD, Santa Monica PD, and others, along with their undercover snitches, bitches, and witches. And the judge decides to take a recess at 3:30 on a Friday, and I have to get back up in court before 4, but I can't be in the courtroom until 3:55. So I get back up at 3:55, and then I was still told to get out of the courtroom, that I couldn't be in the courtroom, even though they were going to lock the doors. So I'm waiting in the hall after meeting with the public pretender, and then a deputy comes out and tells me that they don't have the files and they can't hear the cases unless I can run down to the clerk and get them. Now I'm becoming a clerk of the court. And I'm like, but I told the clerk, and the public pretender goes, yeah, but you have to go get the files. So I go down and I raise a shitstorm with the clerk, and tells me they're not setting the files up. For some lame-ass reason I don't understand. So I go up and scream in the DA's office they need to get the files set up, and then basically given the go-fly kind of attitude. And so, obviously, in talking to the deputy further, if they didn't get the files, it moves to Monday, and they were not going to squelch the $250,000. I don't know how you get a bunch of misdemeanors, and they still can't even tell me what they're for. Like the thing in Compton that I spent time in jail for earlier this week and got robbed again by police. I was told that they don't even know what the crime is, the misdemeanor that I committed in Compton, which I haven't been in Compton in how many years? Probably 20 or more. It's not a place I normally hang. In Riverside, San Bernardino, I don't know how I got a ticket there since I haven't had a car and haven't been in Riverside, San Bernardino, and I can't even remember when. In fact, I don't even think I drive through it when I'm on long trips, but I haven't even been on. Anyway, I mean, it's just baffling to me. And driving without a license ticket is one of the misdemeanors in some city. I don't even know which one. I don't remember. There's so many of them now. But I don't have a car. So I don't know what car I was driving without a license. And nobody's been lending me vehicles that I recall any time in my recent past. If ever. So now, it's my understanding the warrants have doubled because of my failure to appear, even though I appeared on the day I was supposed to appear. And they've been moved to Monday morning. So obviously Kurt's trying to have as little contact with anyone on the planet as possible for any type of potential misunderstanding or a reason for any law enforcement to roll up because they think we may be doing or saying something they need to know about and giving them probable cause to run me again. Because even though I did appear, since the warrants are still out there, the fact that the warrants are there and for that amount, even though I appeared, they could still arrest me again this weekend and I could lose what little I have left to get by for the rest of the month because I'm going to stop trying to cash out every asset on the planet I know to keep pouring money into myself to stay alive each month because I've gone through over 20 grand a month sometimes pulling resources and putting it together, trying to get out of this area into a safer place, and that's been going on for the better part of the last 2 years, 3 years. And no matter how much money I can pull into my hands in the moment, through plastic or otherwise, they have ways to get me robbed and brutalized and everything taken down to the shirt on my back every single month. And so I have to start all over again. I am tired of subsidizing the economy doing this. For the last 2 years, this has cost me and my companies millions. Literally millions. World peace? I don't think it'll ever be achieved in this lifetime. Because as much as people have said, hey, it's a good idea, good luck with that, and I wish you well, I don't see a rally of people stepping up to help me get this done. And this is not a one-man job. So now I'm at a point of, do I even appear in court tomorrow, or I just vanish like Bill has been saying forever? And you figure it out. You figure out what to do with all this bullshit you've amassed in my name. Put on a massive manhunt that'll never find me. Or let it fade away with dust in the wind, like the vision of world peace is rapidly dwindling as we're on the verge of World War III. And when it happens, sadly, Extinction 6 will be complete. And when Extinction 7 starts, next time around, if you have any deja vu memories of this, or Vuja Day memories of what's going to happen again, and how your part has got to change, many will fail again. Sadly, only a few will be saved by their own actions. So your inaction is your action. Your negativity is your action. Your doubt is your action. So whether you think you have a part in all of this global warming, global violence, you do. Whether you will accept it or not is the real key to the success and or failure of your journey ahead. It's not a matter of at the end of time, you all of a sudden, oh, hey, forgive me, I realize this is all real, and then you go right on going to do the work, or you're going to do the time. Be wise in your choices. And for the asshole who gave me this, you're going to more than hell. Guaranteed. I will be seeing you personally before I fade away.